Hi, I'm Dr. Kally, Starrett with H-Wave. Today we're talking about pad placement with the H-Wave device in either high frequency or low frequency settings if I've had wrist injury, wrist surgery, or hand injury, hand surgery. Now remember, we have a couple options here. The first is on-demand pain relief. So what I'm going to do here is use the high frequency setting in this dark cord to create some on-demand pain relief for myself. And the easiest way to think about this is that the pad placement basically sets the poles through which I'm going to get some relief. So let's say that I had a surgery on the top of my wrist here. What I can do is put a pad on either side, turn the machine on, select high frequency, and then just dial this up until I get comfortable. And the key here is that I'm going to be able to receive some kind of sort of numbing, tingling-like feeling. This on-demand pain relief can be deployed for upwards of 45 minutes to an hour. We're concerned ultimately just about watching, keeping an eye on any irritation of the skin under the pad. But our general rule is an hour on and then at least an hour off. But oftentimes people respond that they get 2 or 3, even 4 hours of pain relief after a high frequency setting. So it doesn't matter specifically where my symptom is or where I'm having my pain or discomfort, because I can put a pad on either side. I can even put 4 pads in here and sort of target that area and give my brain some real relief. But the other thing that we're trying to do is make sure that we're keeping an eye on the health of tissues by managing the congestion of the system. We're trying to improve blood flow to the area, which is a side effect of this non-fatiguing muscle contraction, but we're also trying to remove sort of the waste products, the normal swelling that happens after any surgery, any trauma. And so in this situation, I've got the machine on, I'm going to select low frequency here, and then I've just got a couple pads indiscriminately placed on my forearm. So I've got one on my extensor group and one on my flexor group. And all I'm going to do is dial this up until I get some kind of muscle contraction in the forearm. Now, the key here is that I can move this around anytime, almost in real time, and so that I don't have to feel or experience any discomfort of movement. If I was really, really too painful or too sensitive to move the hand, I can move this right up to the forearm and the triceps and still be engaging with decongestion of the limb system. But ultimately, if I'm trying to, if the limb is immobilized, getting any little movement in this system at all can be very beneficial. And again, I don't have to disrupt any of the surgical signs. I don't have to expose myself to any kind of potential movement-related problems for this. If we've got just a wrist sprain, even putting the pad just right in my palm and on my extensors allows me to get some movement. So what we have here is that I can potentially run both systems simultaneously, where I'm getting some on-demand pain relief and then simultaneously working to decongest. We know we can safely decongest these tissues for multiple hours at a time. Ideally, the use of this, if I was just going to do some low frequency decongestion of the limb, I would try to spread that out to 3 sessions during the day. In the morning, in the midday, in the evening. I could pump this all night long if I felt like I had the wherewithal and I was comfortable with that. But the idea is, instead of just waiting for this whole tissue to swell and for my arm to get really behind and very congested and then try to attack it with a single massive session, it'd be better to come in and stay ahead of the natural healing, natural swelling response. So again, what's great is that I have low frequency, which I can manipulate and deploy to give myself some relief just anywhere between the 2 pads. I've got high frequency, which I can move around the limb any place to facilitate congestion of the limb. This combination of on-demand pain relief and decongestion can do a lot to help me sleep better, feel better, have less sort of chronic pain, persistent pain, and even less fear about moving the limb, plus accelerated healing times.